Welcome in to Seahawks Today. Tyler Jones here with you. Happy to have you with us. Wow. I think we already said that once tonight. The Seahawks go with Jaxon Smith-Njigba with the number 20 overall selection, the wide receiver from The Ohio State. Now, if you were following this show back in January, my very first mock draft, I had the Seahawks taking JSN with the number 20th overall pick. And now, months later, here we are. That's exactly what they did. I wasn't expecting JSN to fall to the Seahawks here at 20, but the Seahawks found themselves in a position where they couldn't say no. Yes, the Seahawks had some higher needs of priority to take care of. I think when you looked at this team when it came to edge rusher or defensive tackle or other things, sure, the Seahawks had things that were a higher priority, maybe than the third receiver. But sometimes you find yourself in position where you just say to yourself, best available, I can't ignore what I see before me in Jaxon Smith-Njigba. The number one wide receiver in this class. The number 20 overall player according to our own Tom Downey. And the only true number one wide receiver in this draft, period. The other wide receivers were number two wide receivers or threes. Jaxon Smith was that guy, and he happened to fall right into their laps. Seattle was in a spot where they said to themselves, we just can't say no. And you look at the scouting report. Let me pull that back up so you guys can see exactly what we're talking about with Jaxon Smith-Njigba. Quarterback-friendly receiver with route-running chops and great body control. Remember, he was at Ohio State when Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave were there, who were both first-round receivers. And he looked better than both those guys at Ohio State, okay? And I know you may be saying to yourself, well, he was injured. He missed most of last year with a hamstring injury. I don't care about a hamstring injury. He's going to be fine. Now, he doesn't have elite speed, but brings crazy quickness in his routes. He's limited in that nagging hamstring injury, but I think he's going to be okay. Last year, we didn't see him a whole lot. Only had 5 catches for 43 yards. But the year prior, he led Ohio State in receiving. And you go back to that Rose Bowl game against Utah, and he was incredible in that game with 200-plus yards, 15 catches. He put up numbers some guys put up for an entire season. So I look at tonight of what Seattle did with Jaxon Smith-Njigba in this pick, and you go back to the Devin Witherspoon pick. Did they take the needs they needed to with their first 2 picks? Not necessarily. Corner and wide receiver were a need, but they weren't a high priority need. But they found the best player in this draft at each position and said, we got to have that guy. Those guys have fallen in our laps. We got to have that guy. I rather would have had Jalen Carter with that number 5 pick. JSN, you can make a strong case for a number of other guys like Miles Murphy or Nolan Smith or Brian Bresee potentially with this pick. But you understand it. I don't hate it. I totally get what Pete Carroll and John Schneider are coming at here. The talent speaks for itself. And Tyler Lockett's not getting any younger here. Let's be real with ourselves. Tyler Lockett faced some injuries this year. Now you found a number 3 receiver for now that is in position to replace Tyler Lockett down the road. That's fine with me. I give it an A. Grade it for me in the comment section what you think of what Seattle did with this first-round pick. The breakdown from The Athletic. Here's the scouting report on JSN. Jaxon Smith-Njigba isn't an elite size/speed athlete and won't be an ideal fit for every role, but he is a crafty route runner. But he is smooth and short area quickness and tracking talent to be a sure-handed target. He projects as an early NFL starter who is best in the slot. And what do you know? When you look at the Seattle offense, you slide him in right to the slot. It fits. It fits. Jaxon Smith-Njigba is going to be a huge piece for this offense. You pair him up with Geno Smith there and Kenneth Walker and company. Watch out. This offense is going to be incredible in 2023. Folks, we're breaking down the draft here all weekend on the channel, as we will have analysis of each and every pick each and every day throughout the entire weekend. So whatever you're doing, stop and subscribe to the channel. We got you covered. Subscribe now for free. Doesn't cost you a thing. You can subscribe and see breakdowns of each and every pick. We have analysis, breakdowns, whatever you're looking for. Turn on notifications so you never miss a moment. YouTube.com/Seahawks TV to subscribe today. If you are looking for more coverage, want to know more about what the Seahawks are doing here, we are going to be all over it all weekend long. Just because the first round is over after tonight doesn't mean our business is done here at the channel. We got you covered. Stay tuned. We're going to break it down here. Subscribe now for free. Turn on notifications so you never miss a moment. YouTube.com/Seahawks TV to subscribe for free today, and you'll be glad you did. So here's the current depth chart for the Seahawks wide receivers. DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, they're your two outside receivers. D. Eskridge, let's be real with y'all. D has dealt with his fair share of injuries over the last couple of years. He has not been reliable. I would think that right away, JSN slides into the role that D. Eskridge is at right now, that he would be that guy for Seattle, immediately becomes your number 3 receiver at this point. And Seattle, I think that receiving core, you add JSN to the mix, you're looking at one of the best receiving cores in the entire National Football League now. To me, I love it for Seattle. Your wide receiving core is all that. You've given Geno Smith everything he needs and more for this offense, as far as I'm concerned here. This offense, there's no reason why it can't be one of the better offenses in the entire National Football League, as far as I'm concerned. So, really just incredible to see what this team is going to do offensively. The picks leading up to it, you had Christian Gonzalez go to New England at 17. Jack Campbell at 18 go to the Lions. Elijah Cansey go to the Bucks at 19. And then the Seahawks go with JSN at 20. With that 20th pick, they said no to Will Levis. They said no to Brian Bresee, Miles Murphy, a number of guys. They said that JSN is their guy. They're all in on him with that 20th pick. Some of the numbers. Let's show you these on JSN. 40 time, 4.52. Vertical jump, 35. Broad jump, 10.5. Shuttle time, 3.93. Three-cone drill, 6.57. Not bad. Those numbers are all acceptable for JSN as far as that goes. Now, you look at the Seahawks, and there's still more work to be done. You had a good night on Thursday with your 2 first-round picks. But now you still have 8 more picks to go in a draft that I think that when you got past the top 10, there wasn't a huge gap between 10 and 45. You still have a chance to have a really good roster of more guys you can develop with the 2 picks you have in the second round. Surprise team from last season, made several moves. You re-signed Geno. You brought in Draymond Jones. You brought back Bobby Wagner. Look out. I'm excited for this Seahawks team, what they have putting together here. Devin Witherspoon, JSN, those are your picks to this point. Still more work to be done. Got to get some help in that front 7. But so far, it's been a fascinating draft. What we've seen from John Schneider and Pete Carroll, they are prioritizing talent over need. We'll see how it plays out for them. But so far, a pretty interesting draft for the Seahawks to this point. Before we go, what do you want the Seahawks to do next? They have 2 second-round picks. What should they do with those picks? Tell me in the comments section what you would like to see Seattle do with those picks. Subscribe to the channel. We got you covered all weekend long. Talking about your Seattle Seahawks, giving you the latest news and rumors, breaking down all the picks. Subscribe to the channel. We got you covered. We'll see you next time here on Seahawks Today.